it stopped and then now it's going back again. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, but or like an hour ago, sorry. And I've just been trying to get things ready, but here you go. Right in there, we got a tornado on the ground. This is in northern Florida, heading up towards the north and east. No sound. No, it's going now. It's going now. Apologize for that. I don't know why that happens sometimes. It's kind of weird. But yeah, right here north of Tallahassee, Florida. We're in northern Florida, and we have quite the debris signature on it. It's pretty deep, heading towards Lamonia. If you live in Lamonia, you need to be in your safe spots here in northern Florida. These storms are kind of interesting. They're not really overly organized at this point, but they keep on spitting out these little rotations. And my plan was to take obviously today off because we don't really have a significant tornado risk, and my voice is rough. My mental state is rough. It's just I'm just tired. That's pretty much it. But I've decided I've seen enough. But yeah, right in here, there's your tornado that is currently on the ground, moving up towards the north and east. This is a confirmed tornado. And yeah, if you live in Lamonia, here in northern Florida, going up south of Moncrief, you need to be in your safe spots. And that is the latest there. I don't think we have any cameras in the area, but I'll check it out. I think we had some near like Tallahassee, but I don't think we have any in like this area particularly, but I'll check it out just to make sure. Florida has a lot of cameras, but I don't think they go that far north. Yeah. And there's one like near the Eagle Club County Estates and another one near Bradfordville. Let me see if they're seeing anything. Yeah, there's just too much rain in the way. But yeah, that is the latest. So we await the latest scan for today. More storms, yeah. I mean, they've been going all the way since yesterday, but I think everybody collectively took a break yesterday because well, me personally, I did 76 hours of live streaming. Oh gosh, yeah. We still have a pretty deep debris signature here south and west of Lamonia. Yeah. And that could actually be a significant tornado there. It's getting pretty close to. I mean, the rotation is honestly not super strong, but it's definitely picking up a lot of debris. Again, and that's in Lamonia in North Florida, just to the north and east of Tallahassee. Yeah, this one over here has been going on for a little bit. It started off down here, planted a tornado, might have lifted right before Western Tallahassee, or maybe just tracked through this area, and then it lifted here, and then it's really hadn't done much in between about here and about here, but then it started to reorganize that rotation. Okay, looks like we just got a new update here on still a confirmed tornado on the ground, which is evident still by radar here. Still waiting on those latest radar scans, but it would appear like our tornado is located here just to the south of Lamonia. Yeah, there you go. Still on the ground, just crossed over 319, just crossed over Thomasville Road, and is heading very close to the area of Lamonia, and then over there near 0338. And eventually that's going to be tracking into southern Georgia if it continues to be on the ground, which I think it has a pretty good chance of doing so, at least for a couple more scans, given the fact that we do still have a decent area of rotation as that moves off towards the north and east. What's the tornado risk today? It's a 5% tornado risk. Let me show you guys the latest outlook. So the tornado risk for today, we'll go over to the tornado. So it's mainly going to be in the areas like Lake City, Valdosta, Thomasville, Moultrie, Tifton, Waycross, Hinesville, Statesboro, all the way up into South Carolina for areas like Sumter, Manning, St. Matthews, Orangeburg, Barnwell, Allendale, Hampton, and Waterboro. You guys all need to be watching out for tornadoes. It's a pretty low chance. I think the further north you go, but depending on how the environment reacts, we do have quite a bit of shear up here. So if we get any like unforecasted instability kind of build up in here, then we could easily get tornadoes, maybe even all the way up into like North Carolina and Virginia. It just depends on the instability performs today, because our strongest wind shear, believe it or not, is over here with a pocket of pretty strong wind shear in Southern Virginia, and another one like right here in Northern Carolina. So if any instability can build up in there, we could see some tornadoes be produced as far north as Virginia. Is my current assessment. Hey, thank you, Mimi, for the $10 dono. I do appreciate that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry for not being live yesterday. I was just like absolutely my voice was absolutely obliterated. My mentality was absolutely obliterated. But I got a really good amount of sleep last night, so I'm feeling probably just good enough maybe to eke out like at max a 5-hour stream today. Tornado on the ground. Yeah, tornado on the ground here north of Tallahassee. About crossing over the Georgia-Tallahassee border right now. Yeah, and it's still on the ground, making a very close approach here to Lamonia. And that is going right up towards the border of Florida and Georgia, about to cross over into Georgia. This thing's been on the ground for a pretty decent amount of time. And this is actually the second tornado that this storm has produced. And it's almost a long track tornado there. And so this storm, although the velocities aren't very strong, and there's definitely a possibility that this could maybe be, on the weaker end, or to maybe just barely significant, like an EF2 maybe. So like maybe anywhere from like in the range of an EF0 to EF2 tornado. It's been on the ground for a decent amount of time, and this is the second time it's done that. So I'm wondering if it's going to continue to do that, like close to Thomasville, Georgia. Let me see if there's any Georgia cameras in this area near Thomasville. Let me just double check on that. I doubt it. Oh, yeah, there's actually cameras in Thomasville. All right, let me get those up because those could be really helpful. There. That's Thormunter Media starting screen. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to clear that out. Yesterday, it was weird. I sat on my couch yesterday, and then the gravity increased significantly, and I could not get out of my couch. It was very weird. There it is. I'll do like the furthest south one right now. It doesn't really matter if it's a 10%, or a 5%. The bottom line is we got tornadoes on the ground. I think that's the best way to think about it. It doesn't matter if you have a 5% or a 10%. This storm in particular is a 100% storm. It 100% has a tornado on the ground still. Wow. Is that a glitch? That is a very, very deep correlation coefficient. 0.4 in some of these spots, 0.3. Wow. Yeah, very deep correlation coefficient drop there. Just as that crosses the border, now this tornado is in southern Georgia. Well, the issue is that a lot of streamers just went live for like 60 plus hours straight. I personally went live for 76 hours straight, and there is a point where you do have to take care of yourself. And so that's why people haven't been live yesterday or today yet. A lot of people are just taking a personal time off. As much as we would like to be superhuman, we are not. We are not heroes, like in terms of wearing capes and have superhuman vocal strength. But we do what we can. I got a day break, and I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still feeling pretty crappy. So it seems legit. Yeah. I'm still waiting on the latest scan to come in. But again, here's where our tornado is located north of the Florida-Georgia border, just to the east of 319. And that is still moving up towards the north and east. Man, look at all that debris spreading out there. Man, this might be a significant tornado. Yeah, it still hasn't been upgraded to a PDS tornado, but I mean, this is still a pretty significant debris signature here showing up on radar. You can even see it on the reflectivity.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
New tornado warning has been issued. Still has the observed tag on it, which we can confirm here. That's going to be for Metcalf, Beachton, Thomasville. If you guys are in the path of this storm, you need to be going into your safe spots. Even if it lifts, I'm still, I still think it's worth you guys continuing to be in your safe spots, given the fact that this is the second time that this storm in particular has produced a tornado, and it will probably. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't try again. And so, really, until this storm is past you, I would just continue to be in your safe spots. Again, that's Thomasville and Metcalf here in southern Georgia needs to be in their safe spots. Yeah, it's heading up to the north and east. It's going to come. It's going to come very close to Thomasville, if not right through it. If it's still on the ground, we'll see. And it's still very much on the ground, now producing quite the debris spread, which means it's picked up a lot of debris. You see, it's been on the ground since all the way down here. Wow. I mean, this is usually something you only see with significant tornadoes. It's very, I don't know. This could be a strong tornado here. It's being lifted 12,000 feet. Wow. Yeah, that's very possible. Very possible that that could be a large and extremely dangerous tornado, but we just don't. I don't think we have any ground confirmation on this thing yet. I do have. Let me put up my chat here, and then also and then we'll go look at that camera. That's in southern Thomasville. See if we can see anything. I mean, on radar, it is giving signs that it could be a significant tornado, but it's hard to tell just by radar. And I wouldn't be overly surprised if this thing keeps going and keeps producing correlation coefficients like that. I wouldn't be overly surprised to see this tornado warning get upgraded. All right, latest scan still appears like this tornado is on the ground. Still a pretty decently sized debris signature here just to the east of Moncrief. And you can see that debris is now spreading out. This debris will start falling, it seems, into the Thomasville area uh, as this continues to push off towards the north and east. Maybe even like kind of south of Cairo here in Georgia. Local weather guy says it's a big tornado on the ground. It's very possible. It's very possible. Just given that that one debris signature that we saw earlier, with the correlation coefficient being down for a brief second. I mean, it's kind of all lining up that this could be a large and extremely dangerous tornado. Because look at this, right as we were getting that area of a really low correlation coefficient numbers, which means that there's a lot of debris being lofted into the air as it went past this area. You know, and then we started to see that debris spread, and then right after that, we see just a quite. I mean, all of this here is debris being lofted and carried by that shear. The fact that that happened just after that really low correlation coefficient drop indicates to me that briefly we might have had potentially large and extremely dangerous tornado on the ground, as that is a lot of debris being flung out of this storm right now. Yeah, black means strong. It means very, usually means significant, pretty significant. Really doesn't matter, regardless of the strength of the storm. The same precautions and what you need to be doing over here in Thomasville is the same. You guys need to be, if you live in Southwest near the Southwestern State Hospital, Metcalf Historic District, Thomasville, Booker Heights, Madison Grove, Newark, Glasgow. You guys all need to be in your safe spots and continuing to seek shelter from this storm. Again, that's the lowest, most interior portion of your house. As many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible, a tornado shelter, or a basement that is underground. All right, latest scan here. Looks like we still have an area of rotation. Kind of hard to tell if this is still on the ground at the moment. Rotation isn't overly strong, but we still have a debris signature ongoing. So it's very possible that this is still on the ground here east of Beachton. Man, all that debris spreading out. That is just crazy. As you see, it didn't have debris spread until we had that really deep correlation coefficient drop. And then all of a sudden, you see the debris really start to spread out from the center of the storm, lifting up to the north, indicating we most likely, I would say, just based off of what we've seen, it's most likely a significant tornado on the ground, or was at one point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's significant. But again, we won't know until the damage comes out. But I mean, just judging by radar, you can usually tell if something's large and extremely dangerous. And it kind of seems like for at least a brief moment there north of the Georgia border, it was a large and extremely dangerous tornado. You just don't see this very often. Sometimes you see a little bit of a debris spread, but I mean, this is just a lot. It picked up a lot of stuff, which means it was strong for a decent amount of time there. So just continue to be in your safe spots in Thomasville as this approaches. Again, if you got a shelter nearby, start going there immediately. Yeah, the CC is there. It still seems to be on the ground as of our latest scans. As far as I can tell, it does seem like it's spreading out a little bit, but there still is a little blue area in there indicating that we could still very well have a tornado on the ground east of Beachton. Now, let's come back over to our camera, see if we can see anything. I want to make sure we're on the most recent frame. This is in South Thomasville. We're just going to update on our warning, and it's still observed. Not seeing anything on that one. Let me just try looking around, see if we have any other ones. Looking at the sky here in Thomasville. Yeah, it looks like for most of these cameras, we got to line up for a direct intercept, except for this one, unless we can actually get a view of it with this one. This one's like our only sky view. Let's come back over to here. The latest scan velocities aren't as organized here. Making me wonder, are we about to see this disperse? We see all these blues turn into like greens and yellows with no concentrated area. Yeah, it seems possible that our tornado might have lifted, but just given the mess that we have here, maybe there still could be one in there, but the velocity signatures are kind of becoming displaced from where our debris is. So it's becoming more likely that this has lifted at this point, but just in case there's still something hidden in there, I still want Thomasville to continue to be in their safe spots as long as we have some sort of area here of debris being lofted, but it does seem to be getting displaced from the center of rotation. Let me see if we got any other areas to keep an eye on here. Yeah, looking good down there. I do want to keep an eye on where some of our lower level shear maximums are. One is over here in North Carolina. Really seeing too much there. And then another one is over here in parts of Virginia. We do have a little line forming there, but no dangerous rotations there yet. Do a little zoomed out view so everybody can get perspective of where this tornado warning is. Just make sure my title is accurate here. Fine. Good enough. All right, latest scan. Man, just another area here of increased debris, which to me indicates that this is still potentially on the ground. If it's spreading out and falling, we shouldn't see an increase in those colors unless it is still on the ground somewhere within this mess. Man, yeah, watch out over here in like northwestern Thomasville, Georgia. We have a lot of debris that's falling out of the ground in this area. A lot of debris. Again, all of that is debris that this storm picked up earlier, and that is now falling out of the ground. It's about to, or falling down to the ground, and that should be pretty close. That should be going into northwestern Thomasville, maybe even into central Thomasville. So make sure you're in your safe spot, so you should be fine. But if you're for some reason outside just waiting to see this tornado, that's even more stupid now, given the fact that we could have debris falling out of the sky. So I would suggest that you get your mind right and get inside and into a safe spot. Not the time to be looking for this. Prelim rating, no, but it does seem like it's been on the ground since back here, with its most significant moment here. That right there, I would say it would be hard to make the argument that that was not a significant tornado, rather than the other way around. And you can see right after this little moment where we had our deepest CC, our deepest correlation coefficient drop, that's when our debris really starts to spread out. Our rotation, at least on radar, appears to be completely gone. So I would still be cautious, but it does seem like our debris, this little core of debris, is now still spreading out from where our center of circulation is. It is technically possible that there is still a smaller tornado still on the ground in this area. It does seem like we're getting some indications here that this could have lifted here. This is getting very close to our camera, so let's go see if we can confirm whether or not this is off of the ground or not using this camera. Again, is over here in southeastern Thomasville, pretty much directly in the path of that weaker rotation. Yeah, trust me, you don't ever want to be 100% confident that it's all fallout. That's the thing. It could look like fallout. I've seen weak signatures, still have small tornadoes on the ground, uh, when the tornado is in its rope out phase. I usually like to wait till there's no debris in the area, but it is spreading away from the center. So there is definitely a chance that this thing is off of the ground at this point. But until I see there's just no debris near any rotations, I never say that it's completely lifted with 100% confidence, because like I've said, I've seen no rotation on radar before, but then looked at a storm chaser and the tornado is still on the ground but roping out. We'll see if we can see it here. Let me get that radar on the bottom left here. There we go. Okay. Still keeping an eye on it. Again, this thing's going to come real close to this camera, so if it's still on the ground, we'll be able to see it. Judging by my latest radar scans here, we basically have no rotation left. And yeah, near where that area of no rotation is, now there is no debris signature over that area whatsoever. So now I am pretty darn confident that this has lifted at this point, but we're going to be watching to see if it's going to recycle, but just judging off of reflectivity, it probably will not. We could see the debris falling out of the sky. That is possible. Yeah, keep your eye out for that. Keep your eye out for debris falling out of the sky. That's possible for sure. Because if we come over, yeah, it should be like right over this camera. Oh, it looks like it camera for. Oh no, it's still going. Yeah, keep your eye for debris raining out of the sky. We might also see the mesocyclone in this storm. So its rotation has died. But man, yeah, I think it's on the right side of the screen. Yeah, turn a filter on this thing. Right there, on the right side. Pretty sure that's the remnant circulation. Still kind of seems like it's. Can't tell if those are raindrops just dripping down the screen or if that's. Doesn't appear to be on the ground anymore. I mean, as far as I could tell, just seems like remnant circulation. I'm not seeing anything get knocked over underneath that. Yeah, the Valdosta radar, you know, that's one of my big concerns about all the cuts with the NWS. It's like when these radars go out, do they even have money anymore to fix them, or is it going to just take real long? All right, so I haven't seen any debris fall, but this is also pretty low res camera, so it'd probably have to be pretty big and fall like right next to the camera in order to see it. So we'll keep it up for a little bit longer, but latest radar scan on this storm is still indicating that, well, I mean, there's no velocities to back that up as a tornado on the ground there. It looks like the debris is falling now into the Thomasville area, so just continue to be at least indoors at this point, just until this debris is out of the area, and then you guys can come out of your safe spots, or at least you know you could probably be out of your safe spot right now. There's no strong rotation on this storm anymore. Yeah, just watch out. Just don't go outside yet. And you know that debris, that northern debris that is falling out of the sky, that might go into Coolidge. Yeah, it's definitely lifted. Yeah, we've been saying that. We did see the remnant circulation moments ago, though. It kind of still have a funnely shape to it, but it was probably just some scud underneath the mesocyclone. If I'm being honest, but it's definitely not on the ground anymore, according to radar. All right, let's go. Do we come back over here? Yeah, let's come back over here. I'll put that camera beneath me here. Yeah, let me just go over what the heck just happened here, just in case you guys are wondering. Uh, you know what just happened and almost could have happened to Thomasville, but thankfully that thing lifted right before the city. But yeah, let's come back over to here. We'll bring our scans back about 30 scans. Well, let me turn on the scanner in this area too, if we have one, just so we can listen in, because there might be some significant damage in this area. If there is a one. Okay, so it's this one right there. It looks like that. Yeah, there is a feed. I'll leave it up as the Thomas County Fire Dispatch. Yeah, we'll just leave it on the correlation coefficient because that's like probably the easiest way to continue to show you guys what just happened. Do a little recap. All right, so you see it wasn't warned, and then right about near Lake Lamonia there, into like just north of Tallahassee, this tornado it dropped right in here. and then continued off to the north and east, and they made a very close, if not right over, approach there of ammonia. And then it continued off to the north, and then it produced potentially a significant tornado here south of Moncrief. And right after it did that, we just saw a very large amount of debris. This right here was a tornado, right? But imagine you got a tornado that's circulating, and you can say this is the tornado. The debris would kind of rotate around it, and eventually it gets out of that circulation and is flung into the upper shear environment. And you can see that happening here. Right after that, the debris signature got really strong, or really deep, sorry, is the best way to pronounce it. It started being carried into the shear environment. And so we had a lot of debris spreading out from the center of this thing. And then it most likely lifted, somewhere within this area. Could have lifted at the beginning. But this right here was the moment where we knew for 100% certainty that was off of the ground. If you know anybody south of Thomasville, I'd be reaching out to them. Is this back to radar indicated? Yeah, they're letting that tornado warning expire now. And let's sucks that we don't have that radar. Pretty much every storm in this area is going to be in a radar hole. I have to keep an eye on this area near DeKalb. Doesn't look overly organized at this moment in South Carolina, but I have to keep an eye on there. Check further up to the north. I'm starting to notice some rotations try to develop near Roanoke Rapids, but those are kind of broad at this moment. Not seeing any debris under that yet. Check over here into parts of Virginia. We got a line of storms, a little bit of a gust front coming into Williamsburg, but so far, no areas of stronger rotation. Maybe a little bit of something over here near Bologna. What is that? No, Belroy, I think is how you say that. Sorry, not Bologna. And yeah, that's the latest. No severe thunderstorm warnings except for all the way down here on the coast associated with this storm here. But as you can see, it's not going to be, a little bit of a stronger area of rotation over here near Plum Orchard. And the weird thing about today is that these little signatures have been producing tornadoes. So this definitely needs to be watched. That could be pretty close to producing. We've had a lot of weaker signals today that have produced tornadoes. Okay, latest scan, not nearly as concerning. That seems to be been a brief circulation, but I do not think today is done, unfortunately. I think we're going to see more tornadic activity. And it seems like most of our tornadic activity has been happening kind of in this region of the storm. We really haven't seen too many threats further north of this area yet. But that, that could increase in coverage as we get later into the evening. Worried about Wilmington, North Carolina for tornadoes? Yeah. I think you guys should be all right. Your tornado risk is pretty darn low over there. Where's the tornado warning for? It was for Thomasville, but they're going to be allowing this to expire soon. Or it should be expired. Let me see here. Storm which prompted the warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer appears capable of producing tornadoes. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. So that means technically it's still ongoing, right? The tornado warning is still ongoing. So in 5 minutes, it will definitely expire. But some apps, like for instance, let's go over to Radar Omega. Some apps, when that message comes out, they just allow it. They allow it, or they take it off the map. But technically speaking, it is still active, but they're going to allow it to expire. Debris is still flying northeast. Let me see. Yeah, there could be just a little bit of debris falling in the Coolidge area. There also is a clearing there now, so that might not. Let me see if that tracks what we were tracking earlier. Yeah, I mean, that could still be a little bit of debris falling out of the sky over there. The heck is this? That's nothing. Okay, just making sure. Most of your family lives in Jacksonville, Florida. I think the threat for the Jacksonville, Florida area is pretty darn low. Just check on that. Yeah, you guys are technically in a tornado risk though. I got a 2% chance for tornadoes. This is the day for sneaky ones. Exactly. That's honestly what yesterday was. We did have a couple of tornadoes yesterday. A lot of them were on the ground for like a couple of seconds and then lifted. I think there was like, let me check the tornado reports yesterday. I think we had like upwards of 5 yesterday. Check in on that. Oh. And according to the tornado reports, there was 0. But I did see some debris signatures yesterday. I'm pretty sure there was tornadoes yesterday. And we've already had a couple of tornadoes today, but it says that the storm reports are again at 0. So it'll take a little while, I guess, to get all that information together. Stupid radar's not working. This one working? Good. We want to check on this storm real quick. Yeah. Nothing too concerning yet with that one. Still good over there. Let's go check back up to the north. And the thing is, like, a lot of these storms are going to be below severe.
County Coolidge first responders, please be en route to 1067 Rose Avenue. Again, that's 1067 Rose Avenue with the crossroads South Magnolia Street. 80-year-old male, very weak, can't walk, experiencing shortness of breath and wheezing. ESN 415, dispatch cleared.
Thanks. I don't think that's tornado related, but that was a report south of near what county is that again? Yeah, Thomas County. A report there of somebody potentially about to experience an 80-year-old man about to experience a heart attack. Technically, you can't. Probably that's not storm related, but at the same time, maybe that being under a tornado warning rose the stress levels to that point. I don't know, but man, I hope that poor old man is going to be okay. Over here near Roanoke Rapids, still watching this little area of circulation here. It's a little bit spaghettified, but there is a tight little or a forming area here near Roanoke Rapids. Again, it's right in this area where we have some of our strongest wind shear. Now the environment isn't super conducive for tornadoes, but I don't think we can rule out a brief spin up over there. That was our first report out of that area. It doesn't really seem to be too much activity on at least the fire, the Thomas County Fire Dispatch. Probably getting the most reports out of like if they don't have like a police scanner feed in the county just to fire one. The heck is happening now? Well, we just had a potentially kind of long track tornado. Start off here in Florida and make it into parts of Georgia, lifted right before Thomasville, but could have potentially have been a significant tornado. Still trying to figure out any extra information on this. Let me see if there's on this. We'll see if there's any confirmation or videos of this thing. I doubt it, but maybe. Oh. No. Yeah, I'm not seeing any videos yet of like damage or anything right now. But we will keep an eye or and ears on the matter. I still got the scanner up. As you can see, it's not, you can't really hear anything yet because there's just not a whole lot of reports going out from the fire department, but hopefully we do get some sort of update from them. A weak area of circulation over there near Elgin here in South Carolina. Keeping an eye on that. Checking further up the line. And still a couple of areas of broader circulation still near Roanoke Rapids. See how that looks on this radar. Yeah, still kind of has the same appearance. Hasn't really strengthened or tightened just yet. Maybe a little bit of a gust front pushing up north of Waverly in Virginia. And that is the latest. Also, some rain and thunderstorms are going to be possible as far north as Georgetown as well. Back down here is like really the only area for now that we have a tornado watch. Just came in to check because I have family in Florida. Yeah, so back over here near Tallahassee, we did have another kind of decently long time where a tornado was on the ground. It like started back over here, and then it appears to have lifted somewhere around this area. It could have gone into some of these neighborhoods over there, or it might have just lifted just before there. It was a little bit unclear on radar because we were getting really close to that radar. But then it lifted, and it was actually that same storm that produced yet another tornado that crossed into this region and probably lifted somewhere in this area here, if I had to guess. That storm produced 2 tornadoes. And we're keeping an eye to see if we're going to get any more storms like that. I think my limit for today, though, just given how my voice is feeling, because my throat's already a little bit swollen, I've been trying to recover. But yeah, I think I'm only going to go 5 hours today at max. I think that is my, I think I'm going to stick to that. There are some videos of tornado damage in Georgia. Yeah, but that's over there in like Griffin in Atlanta, I think. Is this going to be the only tornado watch for today? It could be. It really just depends. If we start to see a little bit better instability up here, we could definitely get a tornado watch further north. It just really depends on what the environment does. Most models are saying instability kind of struggles up here, and which means tornado chances are lower. I wouldn't rule out like a severe thunderstorm watch, though. With a chance for tornadoes attached to that. A little interesting signature here near Williamsburg, there in Virginia. Keep an eye on that area. It mainly is just a stronger winds here on the southern side, but sometimes that can spin up something north of it. So just going to we'll come back up there and check in on that area. 4 hours and 15. To learn how to read radar, yeah. No, I wouldn't let anybody fill in for me unless they had similar radar expertise as myself. Anything less than that could put lives at risk. How's everybody doing today? Just wondering. How's everybody feeling out there? Y'all hanging in there? Are y'all burnt out from the storms yet? Are you just tired of seeing storms and thinking about them? Are you getting to that point yet? Because it happens even to the best of us. Well, something coming towards Quit, man. I don't think it's going to be worth looking at, but I'm going to look at it anyways, as I cannot resist any sort of rain view. We're gonna get a great view of some light rain. Y'all ready for this? Come on, give us a good rain view. There we go. This is what like what we're simulating right now is a weather broadcast in Arizona. This is what they do. They don't have to worry about tornadoes or like massive floods or like a bunch of snow. Usually it's just like, all right, guys, we're gonna get a first raindrop here in Arizona. Let's tune in to find out. Then they see a raindrop and they start freaking out. Our ruins over here in Northeast Arkansas. Yeah, you guys had it rough. Ever bored of storms? Just left urgent care. Well, I hope you're okay, April. And hope you get a what's the word? Have a speedy recovery. Yeah, as these storms over here in Florida kind of move into like the Live Oak and Lake City area, might be able to get a view of something over there. Let's go check back in on that. These couple areas of rotation over here in Virginia. Yeah, I mean, this one's still trying. North and east of Williamsburg, Virginia. It is a little bit of a couplet there. And see, we got that rain wrapping around it too. Keeping an eye on this in Virginia. Not quite there yet, I believe, but oh, and we got another one developing back over here near Salvage as well. Kind of interesting. Not really associated with that reflectivity yet. This one over here in Roanoke Rapids is still struggling at the moment. Now, we'll leave the radar up here for just a tad. You got strep throat, but now you feel great. You went to the beach this morning. Lucky, lucky. Lucky person there. Wish I could just go to the beach. Right now it's like 50 degrees and just the ground is wet. Wet ground and 50 degrees. And Florida was morning. This morning was rocking. Yeah, you guys have had some decent storms down there. It's funny. Did any of y'all have what was that one messenger back in the day? It was like the first social media platform. I think it was called like AOL Instant Messenger. Did any of y'all have that back in the day? That was like the first social media. Oh yeah, ASL, right? Aim, sex, location. Uh, that's like the that was like the first like online questions. Like if someone sent you that, like either they were, somebody from India trying to hack into your database, or it was like someone was hitting on you. Like when you have to connect to the internet through your phone, right? You hear the doo doo doo. That god awful sound of the internet trying to connect. Oh my goodness. What was y'all's AIM screen names? Does AIM still exist? AOL Instant Messenger. Or is it just like a antique at this point? Yeah, it appears to be dead as far as I can tell. Yeah, the dial-up connection. Oh gosh. People are yeah, to be honest, I mean, I think we'll understand it was, most of us had it when we were younger, right? So, you know, mine was mini fry. My older brother's was Fry Daddy. And my little brother's was small fry. We had small fry, mini fry, and then Fry Daddy. Yeah, Windows 95, right? Oh boy. Well, interesting thing over here. What's happening there? Oh. Why not to keep an eye on that? It's usually these little blobs of rains. They get these little areas of rotation, and then, give it like 2 or 3 scans, and then they produce. So we'll see if that pattern is still going on. Watch out there west of Thomasville. Oh no, guys, we are not doing that again. Why you guys always do this to me? It wasn't even my screen name. Mine was Mini Fry. And Windows 3.1. Is that even a thing? Windows 3.1. So if Windows 95 was 1995, what is 3.1? This is like the Windows they had, like it was like the Windows 3.1, according to Wikipedia, was the first window ever put into a building. It was actually put into the Gaza pyramid, or the Giza pyramids. Interesting. 3.1 AD is what that means. Macintosh? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks like this rotation up here is fizzled. Well, that's good. These storms are struggling to get any more organized. think they're getting sheared apart. You're unsubbing. Man. Like that little area died, thankfully. All right. Is Virginia Beach okay for now? You guys are, yeah. We're watching up here just in case, but should be a pretty low threat. You guys are in a 2% right now for tornadoes. It is possible that instability could build up there, so we're just kind of keeping an eye on it. We're just kind of keeping a big ol' eye on it. I mean, interesting thing here. I mean, we don't have any backing at the surface, and everything is pretty parallel up here, but we are developing, as of our latest meso analysis, up to about 1,000 joules per kilogram. So yeah, but it doesn't seem like any of our storms right now are in that area, and they're a little bit. They got a little bit of rain around them. Does this even work? Am I just showing nothing when I go to here? I think I am. Yeah. Let me get that. Let me get that working. Maybe. Be smart. As you guys can see, brain's still not 100%. Yeah. Are you guys talking about Oregon Trail now? Someone said all my homies died from dysentery. That's definitely an Oregon Trail reference there. I played that. I don't understand why. I tried playing, or I played Oregon Trail again, like probably about like 3 months ago, and I couldn't quite understand why I was so obsessed with it when I was younger. I used to play it like crazy. Still not seeing anything really sticking out to me. They had a zombie version of Oregon Trail. I can't even imagine. Oregon Trail was already hard enough as it was, or at least like an 8 to 12-year-old to play. Never played Oregon Trail. Dang, you really missed out on the peak of gaming. Yeah, that's gross. Played Snake. Oh yeah, I remember when my brother, he got like, remember when cell phones came out and they first had like the green and black screen, right? So you had like, it was like green in the background and then the black text. I remember my brother got one of those phones and he had Snake on it, and I was so jealous. I was like, dude, let me play. He's like, no, I'm playing right now. It's like, okay, well, you play for 20 minutes, then I'll play Snake for 20 minutes, and then we'll just keep going back and forth. Oh, yeah, Duck Hunt. Yeah, I had that for a little bit. It broke, though, so fast. On the Nokia, yeah. I remember when like phones got internet for the first time, it was like so janky. You guys want to know when I started looking at radar? It was back when flip phones were still a thing. I remember waiting like 5 minutes for each radar scan to load. I think we were in like a tornado warning. We were like seeking shelter in our elementary. It was either our elementary or middle school, and I was using my little flip phone to try to log on in the internet and see what the heck was happening. But I didn't even know what velocities were back then. I would just look at the radar and be like, "Oh yeah, that looks like something there," and it's got the red polygon. James Spann says we need to be in our safe spots. He's got his suspenders on. It's, honestly, in Alabama, you really didn't need radar. You didn't really even need radar. You didn't even really need to watch James Spann for more than like 5 minutes. You just tune on to him, and then you're just like, oh, he's out of the jacket and he's into his suspenders. Time to go to the safe spot. I'm still not seeing anything on radar. Did I know Nokia was from Finland? I did not know that. Is that true? I'm fact checking that. Who owned Nokia? What country is Nokia from? Ah, it is. It is Finlandish. Finnish. Did not know that. Apparently, Finland's a really chill country. And a little interesting signal starting to pop up over here near the Thomasville area again. I'd have to keep an eye on those. They're not strong and they're not concerning right now, but that's how all the other ones had started off today. So it's just kind of worth keeping an eye on those little itty bitty circulations to see if they're going to do anything later. Not a concern right now, but definitely something to be like monitoring at least. And still looking good all the way up the board. Again, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So there's really not much coming for anybody other than rain and lightning. Maybe a little bit of wind. But we do still have a little bit of a tornado threat. Nokia makes tires? Really? And you play Snake on those tires? Oh yeah, T9 texting. Oh my goodness. I remember when I got it, I used to think it was like the most confusing thing ever, but as soon as I started like learning it, like I tried to become super fast at it. It was like a little competition some of me and my friends had. Nokia makes tires. Oh, Nokian. Remember when the BlackBerry came out and it had like an actual keyboard on it? And also the there's like a really cool phone. I forget what it's called. Oh wait, I think it's called the Voyager. Is that a thing? Voyager phone. Oh yeah. This phone. When I got this phone for the first time, like on the front screen it was touchscreen, and then on the inside it had like the keyboard. I begged for this phone from my parents for like every for Christmas and my birthday, and they finally got me one. And I swear to you guys, I did barely had any friends in middle school, but as soon as I got this phone, I started getting friends. Because it was like this was like space aged. This is like what? Touchscreen? What the heck is that? Like this was the touchscreen before the iPhone. Had a little touchscreen on the front, and then you can flip it open and you have a keyboard. Like back in the day was mind blowing. It was absolutely mind blowing. Exactly. I had the Voyager Riz. And you had the Sidekick. How many? So like Sidekick was so popular, man. Let's check back in with these guys. All right, still looks like those areas aren't really doing much yet, so it is a little bit different than from the pattern that was happening earlier. BlackBerry. Yeah, my dad was like I think my dad at one point, because he works for or he worked for the Missile and Defense Agency, and they're like all official and professional over there. And so he had like just I think he almost owned like every version of the BlackBerry in existence. He was just always, as soon as it came out, he always had the BlackBerry. It was like the quintessential business phone. If you were a stockbroker and you didn't have a BlackBerry, no one would hire you. Like everybody that did business that was somebody back in the day owned a BlackBerry. Pretty good branding by the company, to be honest. That was one of the reasons why they were probably so successful. Oh yeah, the Palm Pilot? No way. Almost completely forgot about that. I think I owned one of those at one point. Yeah. The Palm Pilot with the stylus to it. Revolutionary. All the youngins in chat right now are like, huh? But this was our iPad back in the day, you know? We didn't have all those fancy apps could connect to the internet. The Palm Pilot. Oh my gosh. Didn't it have like Minesweeper on it or something? I swear it had Minesweeper on it at one point. Hold on. Let me. Palm Pilot Minesweeper. Maybe not. Maybe I was. Oh no, it had chess on it? Really? I wonder if anybody's like trying to like hack into the Palm Pilot and just like put like games on it or something. Wow. Palm Pilot. Are you guys kidding me? You never had a Palm Pilot? Oh my goodness. Should we ban that person out of chat? I'm just kidding. Get out of here. We don't tornado warn storms for people that have never had a Palm Pilot. Oh my gosh, the nostalgia is real right now. It is very real. Yeah, I'm still not seeing anything out there. I'm still looking though. I know we are chatting and giggling a lot, but I'm still taking these storms pretty seriously. There's just nothing serious to note at this moment. Fun fact, my dad got me my first cell phone after I got suspended from school. I don't remember when I got suspended for, though. But what I do know is that my mom and dad were both working at the time. My mom couldn't she was very busy. I forget what she was doing. But as soon as I got suspended, my dad had to go on a business trip. And so I ended up hanging out with him. Like, it was the best suspension ever. Like, I thought I was going to go home and be in trouble. But it's because my parents were so busy. I had to go with my dad on a business trip. And then we went to somewhere, and he had to buy me a cell phone because he left me at the hotel. And he wanted a way to contact me just in case something bad happened to him or myself. And then after that, he took me to a Wizards game, I think. You know what? That was probably that moment of life and why I had such a troubling teenage time. My dad made a mistake there. Like, it's like, I got suspended and I got rewarded. That probably stuck into my brain for a long time. It was all his fault. Just kidding. Mm. Still not seeing anything. And they were cool back in the day. What was it? Oh, it was the Sidekick that was really popular. What was that one? All right, let's go. Old phones. Surely there's something that we're missing. Y'all remember ripping this back in the day? I'm just kidding. I'm not that old. This was revolutionary. Before we were just doing Morse code and then they came out with this. These were like the first. I do remember having a landline though at one point. I think we had this actually at one point. This kind of landline when I was like really young. Let's do old cell phones. Oh yeah, y'all remember this phone? Man. And then they came out with paper like very soon after that. Like y'all had iPads. Back in my day, we had this. Rosetta stuff. Those are good times. Y'all had fancy, Facebook and TikTok. All we had was chiseling on rocks. Yeah, clay tablets. Yeah. The iClay. You don't remember the iClay? You missed note passing? Oh yeah. Yeah, note passing was interesting. Well, something over here near Youngsville. It's not very strong or anything, but it might be something to keep an eye on. I really do think that's how most of the day is gonna go. Is that we're probably not like unless like something changes, right? If something changes, right, and we have some decent, kinematics in the area, I do believe that eventually we're going to be, I do believe like a little bit of an uptick in tornadic activity can happen again, but it's just going to be, here and there and not like very prevalent. It'll just have like random upticks like we just saw over there near Tallahassee. All right. All right. I'm actually going to go. And look at old phones now. Let's see. Old cell phones. Because there's a couple that I like remember, but don't remember the name. Oh yeah. Oh man. All the pompous people that bought this phone thought they were so cool, hating on us thick phone people. Like, look at my phone, it's all skinny. It's called a Razor. Making people that like I had this phone at the time and they were looking at me like that, like, dude, get the Razor, bro. It's super thin. That's why it's called the Razor. If you don't have a Razor, you're not cool. Yeah, sidekicks. Those were like the your family is wealthy type phones. Oh my gosh. This phone was pretty cool. I actually owned this one too at one point. This was a really cool phone. Mm, Man, I feel like there was like the creativity back then. Like I remember this phone right here where you could like turn the screen and then like it turned into like a little camcorder. Like I feel like the creativity back then was like really cool. They had like they came out with all these things and now every phone just looks the same. Like, where did that aspect of innovation go? Like, now every phone has to just be the same thing. Like, all phones look like this. They all look the same. We're in the boring tech era. Yeah, we are. No imagination anymore. Everybody just wants to play it safe. Movies are the same way. Yeah, maybe a little bit more rotation in this. Oh, yeah. That's actually trying to do something there north of Boston. It is starting to rotate a little bit more there near Berlin, Georgia. Can't even see that storm. We see it from this radar. Yeah, that one's not too concerning at this time. All right. So someone keeps on spamming. We got a new mesoscale discussion. Let's go check it out. Damaging gusts and a brief tornado are possible over here in Columbia, Lancaster, Florence, Lumberton, Fayetteville, Sanford, Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Henderson. So watch out. Watch probability is at 40%. That'll go up if we start to see some more dangerous storms. Oh, I think we all have a storm to look at. No, I think we're dropping the ball. Let me put another camera here. Actually, we'll do the Florida cameras over there. Let's see. Might be able to see this one near Greenville. We'll get lucky. Come on, give us a storm. There's something back there. Kind of. It's rain. I see rain on the streets. Oh, there's a storm. Kind of. It's kind of a storm. I mean, it's mainly just rain. I'm looking for a shelf cloud, but they don't seem to be there. Use my wallpaper to a tornado? No. My wallpaper is pretty dope. I really like my phone wallpaper. On focus. Eh, too bright. Like a twig with a little cloud. Thank you, Rick, for the 5. Your first cell phone was a CB radio. I guess, yeah. I guess those were some of the first ones. That is true. Radio was like the way to go. Yeah, it's still a little bit something there. It's remaining pretty broad, though. Also, a little bit of a circulation developing north of Greenville here in Florida. Keep my eye on it. Still use a radio more than your phone. That makes sense. It's a pretty it's an efficient way to you know, keep in touch with people in your immediate. How far out does CB radio go, like in terms of like range? I guess let me put the radar up here for a little bit since we still have some folks up here as well. Talk about the history of weather radar. I guess, but I don't know much about that, so I am not a weather history buff. There's actually some better. What am I doing? Why is this under me here? There's actually some better cameras a little bit further back here. Like this one has a view of something, some clouds, some trees, ham radios. 20 miles. That's not bad. CBs were big in the 70s. Interesting. So those were like the phones. I guess were there landlines still back in then? Game Boy. I wish I still had my Game Boy. I used to play like the Pokemon or Pokemon. Like I would get like every new version. There was like the fire version. I think there was even a water version. I loved playing Pokemon on the Game Boy. And I don't know if my internet's all wonky. Forgot to plug my computer into the mainframe, so it's going to be a little bit on the slower side of things. Here, let me put that camera underneath me, so we're stop looking at this loading screen. There we go. Red and blue. Yeah. Valdosta, Georgia, you guys have a storm nearby you, but doesn't really have much rotation on it at this point. The rotations at this moment are kind of to your north a little bit. There's a couple of broader circulations out over here I'm trying to keep an eye on, or I am keeping an eye on, but so far they're not really looking super tornadic yet. Just mainly some stronger winds, a little bit of broader circulation. Landline phone. Yeah, landlines were interesting. Like I honestly enjoyed like the social life of my childhood quite a bit. Like if you wanted to like hang out with friends, you'd like go over on your bike and knock on the door, you know. It's snowing up here. Oh yeah. Look at you guys. Got a little bit of snow happening, maybe. Not showing up as snow, but if it's snow, then it's snow, I guess. Full of flakes. Yeah, nowadays you knock on somebody's door, they open it like, the heck are you doing? Like I remember when I lived in California for a little bit, I did solar sales, and the main way that they were doing like getting people to sign up for solar was by knocking on doors. Like people were not happy about that. Door to door salesman. This one dude answered like just completely with no clothes on once, and I was like, okay, I get the point. You do not want any visitors right now. I am leaving. It made me wonder, like after the fact, like how many times he's done that. Like that's like how many people he has maimed maimed with that image. Yeah, that's probably the most effective get off my lawn as you could possibly do, I guess. It was very disturbing. I was not expecting that. Appreciate the visual. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. That's just what happened. Technically, you didn't have to visualize it. You elected to do that. No one forced you to envision that. Oh yeah, when you could change the when you could change like your ringtone, like that was a whole thing. Yeah, like malls and parking lots. I remember like one of the biggest hangouts for some of my friends when I was like a little bit older was like the parking lot of Walmart. I don't know why, but coding MySpace, yeah. I wonder if is MySpace still a thing? I guess it is. I guess MySpace is still a thing with Tom. Tom from MySpace. Yeah, street racing was pretty popular back then too. I remember that. I tried doing that in my Jetta when I got my driver's license, and I immediately caused my car to overheat, and it became a whole big problem. Malls are awful now. They really are. They truly, really are. Malls used to be the best, man. Going to the food court, walking around just to, hopefully to lock eyes with like your future next girlfriend. It was like it was like the I mean, if you were like 13 or 14, like back in the night or like back in like the late 90s or early 20s or 20 or like 2000s, like that was like the Bumble app or the Tinder app back then. Like, you had to go out and like physically search for a girlfriend back in the day. Y'all remember those days? Now people just swipe. Like, oh, you're not attractive to me? Then we're not even going to speak words to each other. I'm just going to swipe and move on. See you later. The storm is still going on. I mean, kind of. We just had a potentially significant tornado moments ago, but it seems like it's going to be one of those like really, really inactive storms, but every now and then it will still try to produce. I mean, we literally have zero severe thunderstorm warnings, and actually all of our special weather statements have been allowed to expire. We don't even have special weather statements right now. So it's still an active or it still could be, tornadic. I don't know if it's going to continue to do that or if the storm is just dead now. I remember that one trampoline thing that showed up in like all the malls that would like strap you to like these poles and then you would jump around on them. Oh, that was the best. You could do like backflips and stuff. Trampolines, just like the regular trampolines, were like the best, dude. Remember when there was the big old trampoline craze? Now no one has trampolines. They used to have like the trampolines without the nets, though. They were so dangerous, but they were so popular back in the day. Like, like the whole like helicopter parent thing didn't really exist. Like, you just let your kids go out on their bike and then they would come back whenever they felt like it. Trampoline with a net, don't need that. Who cares if they fly off the side of the trampoline and hit the ground face first? They're just learning what not to do. Nowadays, you have a trampoline with a net and you put some padding on the ground just in case they fly over the net and cover the lawn with foam with a foam pit just in case they fly past the net and past the padding. uh, Diving boards are still a thing. That's not. I mean, it was like it was like a. I mean, it actually they just always been a thing. Diving boards are like in the 50s too. Getting kneed in the head, right? Or what was that one thing, the super bounce, where like if you timed the bounces right, you'd go really high in the air? Like people were doing that on trampolines without nets. And you had to bop it, flick it, twist it. And that sound it made when you freaking lost. It's just like a scream. Oh, the double bounce. Yes, the double bounce. I could do backflips on that thing. My little brother, I think, once did a double backflip. That was like the peak human achievement back in the day. If you were a kid and you could do a backflip, I mean, that was freaking, rad, right? But then like if you could do a double backflip, you were just a trampoline god at that point. Probably the coolest kid that's ever existed. Man, skate parks also, like skate parks are like malls now. Like I remember like for a good while skate parks were like super popular. Like they even had like this huge skate park inside of a mall in Potomac Mills. There was like Potomac Mills Mall like near like the Annandale area. And they had like it was a giant mall, but I don't even think I remember the inside of the mall. I was only there for the skate park. Like those have kind of like I remember very like probably like 5 years ago I tried to go to this one skate park with my friend. There was like nobody there. Like, I don't even think people go to skate parks anymore. But that was like back in the time when like X Games was huge. You had the rise of Tony Hawk when he did the 900. You had Dave Mira, I think his name was, the BMX dude. Yeah, skate parks. That was like one thing that was like really popular. And like I don't understand how it lost popularity, but it's really not that popular anymore. I'm sure it's still popular in some areas, but like on a wide scale they're not. But they were booming in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Also, yeah, I mean, if you've met somebody that like had skateboarded for like more than like 2 or 3 years, it was already assumed that they have broken bones in some form of fashion. Oh yeah, the homemade bike ramps out of like plywood and cinder blocks. YouTube puts you 10 minutes. Yeah, it does that sometimes, and I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. Like it shouldn't, like if you don't touch the screen at all, why do people get behind the stream? It should have like an automatic update thing on it. Like automatically updates like once every like minute to make sure that you are at the beginning of the live. Because who wants, like if you're watching a live stream, there is nobody in the world that wants to just randomly get behind in the live stream. That doesn't make any sense. BB gun fights? You mean like the airsoft? The ramp up in the next few hours? It's possible, or maybe not. I don't know. You know, like I said, I mean, we started off this stream with a potentially significant tornado on the ground that was on the ground for a decent amount of time. You know, it tracked like all the way like this. But there has been absolutely nothing since then. So maybe that was like the last tornado to ever happen on this storm. I don't know. But I'm still down to kind of monitor it and still talk about, old timey stuff too. I think I'm enjoying that. A little bit of an interesting supercell over here near Clayton. A little bit more out in the warm sector. Might have to keep an eye on this guy over time. If y'all are having BB gun fights, that could have been like deadly. But like airsoft was super popular, and it still actually is kind of popular today. It hasn't completely died off. Every now and then I get recommended like an airsoft video of like some dude that strapped a camera on his airsoft sniper and he's just hitting people and stuff with his airsoft gun. But it's like turned into more of like a military type thing. Like back in the day, it was something that like kids do, but like now they have like airsoft guns that are like they look like military grade guns. Like I remember going to this one airsoft place, they were literally selling like a 50K sniper or a 50 cal sniper airsoft gun. And then you have people that show up to like airsoft fights with like military like equipment on. It's like it's changed a lot. It used to be just something you did in your backyard, and now it's just like been completely overtaken by like the wannabe military peeps or people that are actually in the military for like training. Yeah, Nerf guns. That LARPers, exactly. Had to be yellow tip. They did, yeah. I think they still are. I'm pretty sure. But they like the airsoft guns now. Let me see if I can find a photo. I mean, they just look like real guns. Like back in the day, like you could definitely tell it's an airsoft gun. Yeah. This is legitimately an airsoft gun. Like if somebody pulled up into like a building with that, like they're getting like like someone behind the counter is pulling out a real gun to defend themselves. Like you cannot tell in some of these things. And they have like whole arsenals. Like they got an AK-47 now. Like that would have been sick as a kid. Legitimate sniper rifles. It's crazy. It is completely changed. It is still popular though, so it hasn't died off, but it's like a whole nother group that is like taken over the airsoft industry. All right, see you later, Bucky. Yeah, still not seeing anything like super concerning out there. We're getting some more special weather statements over here near Fayetteville. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty calm, so I think I'm gonna end the stream and you know if anything else super concerning up comes up, I might go back live. Again, I'm still just like in that recovery phase. My voice is rough. So I'll probably come back on maybe if something comes up, but I'm still trying to recover. But yeah, you guys take it easy. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we don't hear anything too crazy out of this Thomasville storm. But man, it seemed like it did a lot of damage, at least in this area. So hopefully all the folks are okay. I'll try to get some news on that and try to repost it on my Twitter. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and also, yeah, exactly. Thank you for taking the trip with me down memory lane. That was very interesting. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and hopefully you guys don't see me for a while after today, because I definitely want to get like a good 3 to 4 day break in. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Peace.